Hi, and welcome back to another Stampin' on Friday episode. It's chilly and cold here tonight in Northeast PA, so I thought it would be perfect night to use my new Shape Up Snowman die set. So I'm going to use all of the dies that come with this and make a card, a shaped card with that. And I'm going to use the Snowman accessory set as well as another stamp set. This is from last year. It's called On Ice. And I'm just going to use a sentiment from this one. So let's get started. I'm going to start off by cutting all of my pieces. And I have my Cuttlebug sitting here. And let me grab my plates. I'm going to need, when you're doing the dies on the thin dies, you're going to use your A plate, your B plate, and your C plate. So, so there's A and B. And I'm going to start off by cutting my snowman shape. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut it up 3 times. And you'll see why I'm doing this as I'm putting the card together. So I'm going to start by doing my 3 snowmen. And I'm using Paper Tray Inks Vintage Cream cardstock for my card today. So there's my first piece, and I'll go ahead and cut out my other 2 pieces. The next thing I'm going to cut out are the pieces to the hat, and I'm going to cut this out on 2 different types of pattern paper. And my pattern paper today comes from the Lily Bee Designs St. Nick paper pad. And the only thing I don't like about this is I just got it, ripped out 2 pages, and the book fell apart. But I love the paper. I love that Santa Claus. Isn't that cute? So that's that paper collection that I'm using. So I have my stamp set, or my die and my pattern paper, and I'm going to go ahead, and I only really want this top section of the hat, and I'm trying to avoid that little swirly piece there, although if I get it, no big deal. So we'll cut out that piece. And then I'm not going to use the 2 pieces that cut out with that. I'm just going to use this piece here. So I'll set that to the side. And then I'm going to cut out this striped piece. And I'm going to use the bottom part for that. It's the bottom, like the rim of the hat. So that's this little piece right here. And then this little piece on the bottom here is the little top of the hat. So I'm going to do this in a piece of felt. This is the Aqua Mist felt, and I thought that would look best with the stripe on the rim of the hat. So I'm going to cut that out. And then I'm going to also cut out the arms. So there's the little piece on the hat right there. And then our other piece that we're doing, whoops, almost lost my plates there, are the arms, and that's these right here. And I'm going to use a piece of brown cardstock for that. I'm going to cut out the mittens too. I'm not going to use them in the brown, but I'll show you that we're going to use more felt for the mittens. So there's our 2 arms. And then for the mittens, I'm going to take another piece of the felt, and I'm going to cut out the mittens twice. So let me just cut off a piece of the felt here. And we'll do the mittens. And like I said, I'm doing them twice. So we're going to have 2 sets of mittens. And I think I need to cut off another piece of felt to do the other set. Okay, so I have all my pieces cut out. I cut out 3 of the snowmen, 2 sets of the mittens, and then the hat pieces here. So I'm going to start off by, I think we'll work with our snowman first. So I'm just going to set 2 of these to the side, and I'm going to take this one. And I have my pieces, or my stamp pieces, that I'm going to use on this block, so I didn't lose them. And I'm going to start off by stamping our snowman's face. And for that, I'm just going to use some Jenny Bolin brown sugar ink, of course, right? I always use my Jenny Bolin ink. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that just right on the front of my snowman. Just like that. And then I'm going to take just a Copic marker. This is R08. And this is more of a reddish orange, but it was the closest color I can get that was going to match my pattern or my paper and stuff like that. So there's our little snowman face. And now what I'm going to do is take from the accessory set to the snowman, this little stamp, it's a snowflake. I'm going to use that, but before I start doing that, I'm going to use some antique linen distress ink, and I'm going to ink up the edges of my snowman. So I'm just kind of going in a circular motion and going right around the outline of my snowman. And then the next thing I'm going to do is take my snowflake stamp, and I'm going to start stamping this snowflake all over the, I almost said pumpkin, the snowman. Okay, so I went ahead and did the pattern stamp there with all the little snowflakes on my snowman. And there are two different size snowflakes with this, but I just went with the one size. So the next thing I want to do is just go ahead while I have my distress ink out. I'm going to distress the edges, or I'm actually going to distress this whole piece of my rim of my hat so it has more of a distressed look to it. And then I'll even do a nice heavy distressing right on the edges. Okay, so that is that. I'm also going to go ahead and distress while I have this out. I'll do the hat. Even though you really can't see it much on here, I'm not going to do too much of it. So those are those pieces. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to take some of my quick dry adhesive, and I'm going to adhere down the top part of the hat. And that's just this little piece of felt that I cut out for the top of my hat here. And then for the rim, I'm going to put that on with some dimensional adhesive. So I'm just going to use these adhesives here. And then this piece will get adhered right to my hat, and that'll be just the rim, just like that. And then in a little bit, I'll adhere this right to the top of my snowman, just like so. So the next thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and adhere down my my mittens to my hands, or my snowman's hands. And I decided that I cut this out twice so that I could put them together. And when you're looking at the back of the card, you're not just going to see, you know, the stick. So I'm going to glue these together, which will be glued then to my snowman. So I'm going to start off by just putting some adhesive right on my stick here, my snowman's hands actually. And then I'll adhere this to that side, and then I'll flip it over and do the back side. So there's one of my snowman's hands, and then I'll do the other one. So while my snowman's hands are drying there, I'm going to go ahead and tie a piece of ribbon right around my snowman's neck, and this will be his scarf. And this is just a piece of sheer ribbon that I had in my stash. And then I'll trim these off. And then if you want to, you can glue those down, but I'm just gonna, I think I might add a button to that later. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with that right now. So I'm gonna leave it just like that for now. And then I'm gonna go ahead and adhere my little hat on here. So let me just get my adhesive for that. Just make sure his hat is on straight. Just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere his hands down. And those are going to get stuck right to the back of our snowman. Do this piece too. Make sure his arms are just about in the same spot on both sides. Okay, so that's basically our snowman. I'm going to take my extra piece, I had cut out 3 pieces, and I'm going to adhere this down so that when you're looking on the inside of the card, you don't see my ink and my glue and adhesive and stuff like that. And if you wanted to, you can even cut out a second hat and glue that to the back of the card. But I'm just going to go ahead and adhere this one down. And if you want to do dimension to this, you can even go ahead and put pop dots on it. It'll give your card even more dimension, but I'm just going to glue mine right down. A couple dots of glue on the ribbon. Just make sure our card is nice and lined up. And now when you're looking at the snowman from the inside of the card, it's got a nice clean background. So now to make the shaped card, I'm going to take my score buddy here, and somewhere I put my little bone folder, here it is. I'm going to take my other snowman, my third snowman, and I'm just going to put him in here and just create a score line. And I'm going to make sure he's straight and create a score line, and this will be the fold of our card. So we're just going to fold that back and then put some adhesive on it. And then I'll glue this right to the back of this. Actually, before I glue it, I better do stamp my sentiment. Our sentiment is from the On Ice stamp set, and it says Warm Winter Wishes. Let me just throw this on my desk here and pick it up on my block. We'll stamp that right here in the center of our snowman, and this will be the inside of our card. So it says Warmest Winter Wishes, and then I can go ahead and adhere my snowman card together. So I'm just taking, I just glued right above the crease line and adhering it to the top of our snowman. And this is where if you had a second hat, you can put it right on the back so it has a nice crisp look on the back as well. And you only really need to cut out probably the full piece and the pom-pom if you wanted to have that in the back. So that's our card for today. Thanks for watching another episode, and I'll see you next time.